Your arteries are dying. Right now. Not someday. Not eventually. Right now, as you watch this. The lining of your blood vessels, a layer thinner than a human hair, is losing its ability to produce the one molecule that keeps you alive. Nitric oxide. Scientists gave this molecule a Nobel Prize in 1998, then forgot to tell you how to make more of it. 5,000 years ago, Vedic healers encoded a specific sound into daily ritual, a sound that floods your arteries with nitric oxide at 15 times the resting rate. Modern researchers confirmed it in 2002. They could not explain why the ancients already knew. And the third signal, the one no pharmaceutical company will ever patent, has nothing to do with what you eat, drink, or inject. It is a position. One so simple it will disturb you. One your body has been performing wrong your entire life. The endothelium is not a passive tube. It is the largest organ in your body. Stretched flat, it covers 6 tennis courts. It is a living, responsive surface, constantly sensing blood flow, pressure, and chemical signals. When it functions, it releases nitric oxide on demand. Arteries dilate, blood pressure drops, plaque cannot adhere, cognition sharpens. When it stops functioning, the process reverses. Every point of that reversal is cardiovascular aging, chronic stress, mouth breathing, decades of shallow air. Each one depletes ENOS, the enzyme your body uses to manufacture NO. When NO drops, arteries stiffen, blood pressure climbs, plaque accumulates. The cardiovascular system does not age in years, it ages in months. The pharmaceutical model treats the symptoms downstream. It does not restore ENOS. It does not fix the signaling failure at the source. Your body already has the factory, it just needs the signal. The ancient world encoded that signal in 3 forms: sound, breath, and position. Find your pulse right now, not metaphorically. Actually find it, at your wrist or the side of your neck. Notice whether it feels tight or fluid, rapid or slow. That sensation is your arterial tone. By the end of this decode, it will be measurably different. Stockholm, 2002. Researchers asked subjects to exhale slowly through the nose, completely silently. Then they asked them to hum. Same subject, same exhale, same nose. One difference: sound. Nasal nitric oxide concentration increased 15-fold. Not 15%, 15 times. This is not a rounding error. This is a complete biological transformation of arterial signaling, triggered by a vibration your mouth already knows how to make. The mechanism is called oscillating airflow. Humming vibrates the air column inside your nasal passage. That vibration resonates in the paranasal sinuses, the hollow chambers surrounding your nose. The epithelial lining of those sinuses produces nitric oxide continuously. Under silent exhalation, that NO sits trapped, stagnant, unused. Humming shatters the standing air column with every exhale. It physically pumps the NO-rich sinus air into the nasal airway. From the airway, it diffuses into the bloodstream and reaches the arterial wall. The endothelium receives it. The NOS fires. Vasodilation begins within seconds. Now look at the Vedic record. Brahmari pranayama, the humming bee breath, encoded in texts written over 3,000 years ago. Prescribed before surgery, before battle, before sleep. Not as spiritual ritual, as clinical medicine. A 2021 clinical trial measured the physiological impact of 30 days of Brahmari practice. Heart rate variability increased. Arterial elasticity improved. Systolic blood pressure declined. No pharmaceuticals, no supplements, no injections. A sound. Daily. 30 days. The yogis did not have mass spectrometers, but they had 5,000 years of observational data and a body that could not lie. The practice now.
Sit upright, lips closed, teeth slightly apart. Breathe in through the nose, slow, full, complete. 4 counts. On the exhale, hum. Not a performed hum, a felt hum. The vibration should sit in the bridge of your nose, not your throat. 6 counts in, 8 counts out. Humming throughout the exhale. 5 rounds minimum. That is signal 1.
Nitric oxide has a half-life of seconds in the bloodstream. You cannot store it. You cannot supplement it effectively. The only reliable way to sustain arterial NO levels is continuous endothelial stimulation through the correct delivery pathway. That pathway is your nose. Every nasal breath draws NO-rich air across the turbinates and into the lower airways, where it diffuses directly into the arterial wall. Every mouth breath bypasses the entire system completely. The mouth was not designed for primary breathing. It is an emergency bypass, evolved for exertion, trauma, and crisis. Under normal resting conditions, it robs your arteries of their most essential substrate. This shift happened gradually. Stress, chronic inflammation, posture collapse, urban pollution. Most adults now mouth breathe during sleep. Every hour of nocturnal mouth breathing is an hour of arterial NO starvation. Your endothelium spends the night without its primary fuel. Then it spends the day trying to recover. It rarely fully does. Check right now. Are your lips parted? Is air moving through your mouth? Close your lips. Breathe through the nose. Feel the difference. Cooler, fuller, slower, more complete. That is your endothelium receiving signal 2. The ancient Vedic system formalized nasal breathing as Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. The left nostril activates parasympathetic dominance, vagal tone, arterial dilation. The right nostril activates sympathetic tone, cortisol, vascular constriction. Alternating between them creates what researchers now call cardiovascular coherence. The heart and arteries synchronize. Enos fires in rhythmic, coherent pulses. A 2017 randomized trial documented measurable reduction in systolic blood pressure after a single session of Nadi Shodhana. 18 minutes, 1 practice, measurable change. 4 counts in through the left nostril, hold 4. 8 counts out through the right, switch. 4 in through the right, hold 4. 8 out through the left, 5 complete cycles. The ancient world measured this in breath ratios, not milligrams. They arrived at the identical therapeutic window modern trials later confirmed. That is signal 2. Now for the signal no supplement company will ever sell you. A position, the position of your tongue. In most adults, the tongue rests low, against the floor of the mouth, touching the lower teeth. This is the anatomical default in a civilization that has stopped chewing, breathing, and swallowing correctly. It is also structurally catastrophic for NO production. The tongue belongs on the palate, the roof of the mouth, tip resting just behind the upper front teeth, dorsum pressed firmly upward. Ancient yogic texts call this Jivha Bandha, the tongue lock. Not considered symbolic or supplementary to pranayama, foundational, a structural prerequisite. Without it, the practice was considered incomplete. Here is the mechanism. The maxillary sinus sits directly above the hard palate. It is the largest paranasal sinus in the human body, your highest volume nitric oxide production chamber. When the tongue presses upward against the palate, it creates gentle compression against the sinus floor. That compression acts as a physiological pump. It pressurizes NO-rich air from the maxillary sinus into the nasal cavity. With each nasal breath, that concentrated NO is drawn into the airways and diffused directly into the arterial wall. Sound, breath, position. 3 signals, 1 molecule. The molecule your arteries have been starving for. The humming was the 15 times amplifier. The nasal breath was the delivery system. The tongue position is the structural pump. Together, they create a cascade, each signal reinforcing the next. The complete integration now. Close your lips. Place your tongue flat on the roof of your mouth. Breathe in through the nose, 4 slow counts. Hold, 4 counts. Hum on the exhale, 8 counts. Feel the vibration collecting in the bridge of the nose. Feel the tongue maintaining upward pressure throughout. 3 rounds. Pause this video. Do it now. This is not a technique you are learning for the first time. This is your own biology, recovered from the archive. The endothelium regenerates. Enos begins responding within hours of correct signaling. A 2013 study documented measurable improvement in arterial elasticity within 3 weeks of consistent pranayama practice. 3 weeks. That is the timeline science confirmed. That is the timeline the ancient world assumed, not as optimism, but as clinical expectation. Your arteries know exactly what to do. They have been waiting for the signal. You just gave them all 3. If this activated something, a shift in your pulse, a stillness behind the eyes you cannot name, your endothelium is already responding. Write signal in the comments. Tell me exactly what you felt. If you have been mouth breathing for years, write reset below.